بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. And we are continuing with our studies of التعبير القرآني by Dr. فاضل صالح سمرائي. And so far, um, he was talking about how everything, every kind of style in the Quran is specific to the context. And he was talking about التقديم والتأخير as another style of the Quran. And he gave examples of that, how if something is brought forward, it's particular to that context. And if something is delayed, it's particular to that context, and so on and so forth. And now he was summarizing the entire thing. So he said, كل ذلك يضعه وضعا فنيا في غاية الروعة والجمال. So all that is placed in beautiful, artistic, in extreme magnificence and beauty. So he was talking about that. And we had started this discussion. So I'm just going to read through the last paragraph that we did. ثم هو يجمع بين ضروب. Maybe I should just delete all this stuff because there's a lot of let me erase all this that is it's making it so look so busy. I don't want it to confuse me. Okay. ثم هو يجمع بين دروب القول المختلفة ويؤلف بينها في حشد فني عجيب لا يملك العارف بشيء من أسرار التركيب إلا أن يسجد لصاحب هذا الكلام إجلالا وخشوعا. And then he says it's not just one particular style of the Quran or one particular expression of the Quran. He takes these different expressions and these different styles, tawkid and istifham and taqdeem and ta'khir and other styles, and he combines them together to form this beautiful unit that anyone who has any idea, even an expert who knows just a little bit or anything at all of the secrets of organization of this book, he cannot control himself except to prostrate to the owner of this uh, book, إجلالا وخشوعا, out of majesty and khushu', humility, right? So that's where we were. That's the last part we did. Now we're going to go to the next part. Again, just remember what he's doing. He's summarizing all his thoughts now, all the ideas that he presented before. Hashid means compilation, like yeah, something that is compiled. I don't know if that's how I think that's how we translated it last time. I'm not so sure. Okay. Any other questions before we begin the next part? All right, great. So I don't know, who wants to participate, who wants to read? This part, by the way, is going to take us a while because it's a really difficult text. Just this one line. Hopefully we can be able to go through it without any hitches, inshallah. All right. So yeah, Hashad compilation composition. Yes, Saleha, it's your question. You can type it in the chat or you can unmute yourself and ask. Either way is fine. Okay, as we wait for that question, who's going to participate today? Who wants to participate? Who wants to read?
Can I try, Sister now? I can just try a line or two, I guess.
Sure, no problem. Just a minute, let me see here. Okay, so you said there are three ways to do i'rab after illa. Can you say that again? Okay. Yeah, so there are three ways to do i'rab of al-mustathna, the exception. So the first one is if the sentence is a positive sentence and the mustathna minhu is mentioned. So let me just type that again here. So we have three cases. One, um, positive sentence plus mustathna minhu. Number two, you have a negative sentence plus mustathna minhu. And number three, you have negative sentence minus mustathna minhu. Mustathna minhu. Okay, mustathna. So these are the three cases where you have where you can do the i'rab of the mustathna minhu. So in this case, what do you have? You have mustathna minhu. It becomes mustathna mansub. So in this case, it will be mansub. Okay. Here, you can either have mansub or it could be badal of mustathna minhu. All right. And the last one here, negative sentence plus mustathna minhu. Here you have whatever role it's playing in the sentence. That's how you do the i'rab. Okay. So I think it's easier to understand with examples. So for example, if I said um جاء الطلاب الطلاب إلا أحمد. Okay. So and I asked you, what would be the i'rab of Ahmed? Here it would be إلا أحمدا. All right? Or إلا محمدا. Sorry. Uh, أحمد is ممنوع من الصرف. So إلا أحمد. أحمد. Right? So جاء الطلاب إلا أحمد. أحمد. So you can see this is a positive sentence. الطلاب is the مستثنى منه, the thing I'm making an exception from. Like this, all of them are students. Even Ahmed is a student, but one of the students, one of the whole, so the mustathna minhu, the thing I'm making an exception from, did not come. And that would be mustathna minhu. So you can see positive sentence plus mustathna minhu gives you mansub. It's going to be mustathna mansub. So whatever comes after illa is going to be mustathna mansub. Okay. In the next part, let's look at an example here. So we want a negative sentence. So ما جاء الطلاب ما جاء الطلاب. Okay, the space is kind of small, so إلا أحمد. So what will be Ahmed in this case? It can be Ahmeda, or it can be the badal of a tullab, which is now, because it's the rafa, it's sorry, it's the fa'il, it's in rafa form. So it will be either Ahmadu or Ahmada. So this would be either Ahmada or Ahmedu. Okay. And then of course the last one, maybe I should just write it here because ما جاء إلا أحمد. ما جاء إلا أحمد. In this case, you can see the طلاب is not there. I did not mention الطلاب. So because the مستثنى منه is not mentioned, then what do? We remove the ما إلا. Remember, Ustad said when you see a negative sentence, you just ignore the ما, and then you go the إلا, and then you ask yourself, what is Ahmed doing? جاء أحمد. So it's acting as the فاعل. So in this case, it will be the فاعل. ما جاء إلا أحمد. Right. So the third one is the easiest because you just look at the sentence and ask yourself, what is it doing in the sentence? And in this case, it's the file. Right. Okay. Now let's go back to the text. All right. Okay, go on. Now we can begin. We can read.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. لقد درس التعبير القرآني دراسات مستفيدة وأولي 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 من النذر ما لم ينله نص آخر في الدنيا. نص آخر في الدنيا.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you hear me, Sister?
Yes, I can hear you. لقد درس التعبير القرآني دراسات. What do you think دراسات is doing in the sentence? What's some idea? No one has an idea? درس التعبير القرآني.
مفعول مطلق. فعل.
Yes, مفعول مطلق. Somebody said it. درس دراسات. درس دراسات. مفعول مطلق. And if it's a مفعول مطلق, then therefore it means it is in what status?
نسب.
نسب. And therefore مستفيضة would be what?
مستفيضة.
مستفيضة. So that's
صفة دراسات, right?
yes, this is the صفة of دراسات. All right. Okay, so let's finish this idea because there's a question on still the illa. Let's get that out of the way before we get into the text because this text requires all the attention and I don't want you to be to lose focus or to be unfocused about this. Okay, so in the second example, what's the difference between if it's rafa or nasab? The difference is how you do the i'rab. If it's rafa, then it's the badal. Okay, the badal of the mustathna minhu. And if it is nasab, then it's an exception. Okay, so in other words, what is a badal? What does a badal do? You can replace that with the mustathna, with whatever comes after illa. And I think this example comes in the Quran. You'll say illa al-mushrikun or illa al-mushrikin. And it depends with the sentence. Is it the third example or is it the second example? So there is a slight difference in meaning and in the implication if it is rafa or if it is nasab. Okay. I don't want us to dwell so much into that. Maybe inshallah we can talk about that in the group. And also, does this apply to la and illa template? Yeah, any negation. Ma illa, la illa, any negation. In illa, any kind of negation. All right. So لقد درس التعبير القرآني دراسات مستفيدة وأولي من النظر ما لم ينله نص آخر في الدنيا. Should probably do that. في الدنيا. الدنيا is okay. Great. وإياكم. So I'm gonna try and explain what this sentence is saying before we get into the i'rab of it because the i'rab of it is a little bit interesting to say the least. And also I need your attention because there's a lot of moving parts here that require a little bit of extra attention. So he's saying that the التعبير القرآني, the Quranic expressions have been studied extensively in so many different studies. Okay, it has been studied extensively. وأولي من النظر ما لم ينله نص آخر في الدنيا. And it has been given so much attention that no other text has been given a similar attention like it. That's what he's saying. Like this تعبير القرآني, the study of a تعبير القرآني, the Quranic expressions have been given so much in terms of attention, so much in terms of focus, that no other text has been given in the dunya, right? In the whole earth. ولم ينله ناس آخر في الدنيا. Like no other text has received a similar kind of attention, like the way the Quran has in terms of the study of uh, Quranic expressions. Is that meaning clear? Like it has been studied so extensively. The Quranic expressions have been studied so extensively that no other text has received a similar attention. That is what he's saying. All right. Okay. So I think the meaning is clear. All right. Now let's go into the detail. Let's break it down and see what exactly is happening here. Because again, remember, Dr. Fadil does not speak in a normal, boring tone. His speech is very exaggerated and very elaborate and very fancy and all that. Like it's over the top. And you would see this constantly throughout the entire book. We're going to see that. Like there's a lot of taqdeem and ta'khir, and you're wondering, like, there's a simpler way of saying this. Why are you saying it in such a complicated way? Because again, he's trying to pass a point, like he's trying to win us emotionally and whatever. Yeah, that's the whole idea of how I think he writes. So لقد, we've already done لقد so many times. لام للقسم, قد حرف التحقيق. These, we don't look at this because again, just حرف. And then درس, درس يدرس, and then you have the passive درس يدرس. So this is مبني للمجهول, فعل مبني للمجهول. Okay. And then التعبير القرآني is the نائب الفاعل, because now we have here مبني للمجهول, that's our نائب الفاعل. So we have a جملة فعلية, فعل is درس مبني للمجهول, therefore we get a نائب الفاعل, which is التعبير القرآني. Beautiful. Then you have دراسات. دراسة is a مصدر of درس, is a مصدر of درس, and therefore this makes it مفعول مطلق. Okay. So this becomes our مفعول مطلق because درس, درس, دراسات, the same root words. And of course it's آتٌ, آتٍ, آتٍ because it's جمع مؤنث سالم. It's the 3F. Yeah, 3 feminine plural. And مستفيدة, we talked about this. This is the صفة to دراسات, and that's why it is مستفيدة, because it is منصوب, because it is a صفة to something that is منصوب, and دراسات here is also منصوب. Yeah, because it's آتٌ, آتٍ, آتٍ, right? So that part, I think it's pretty clear what's happening there. All right. Now this second part is where it gets a little bit tricky. وأولي من النظر, وأولي من النظر, أولى يولي. So this is family 4. ولا يا. The root letters are واو, لام, and يا. But family 4, أولى. And now they took أولى, which is already ولا, is متعدي. That means it takes a مفعول به. ولا. Then you take it to أسلم family, it becomes أولى, and now it's متعدي لمفعولين. Now it takes 2 مفعول بهs. All right? So that needs to be at the back of your mind. It takes 2 مفعول بهs. But this is أولية. What is أولية? أولية is مبني للمجهول. أولى يولي إيلاء فهو مول. أولية يولى. أولية. So this is مبني للمجهول, which means we expect a نائب الفاعل and we expect a مفعول به. Why? Because it's متعدي لمفعولين. So one of the مفعول بهs becomes نائب الفاعل, and then the second one remains. So that needs to be at the back of our minds when you look at verbs that take on 2 مفعول بهs. So that's the first thing we need to note. So أولية مبني للمجهول. Okay. And we can say that the naibul fa'il here is the damir mustatir, the inside pronoun huwa. And because it's huwa, maybe there's an outside naibul fa'il, maybe there's not. We don't know. We'll check. If we see something that looks like a naibul fa'il, maybe. And then we have min al-nadri. Min al-nadri, of course, min harf jar, nadri, majroor. This is our muta'alliq. Okay. Then you have ma لم ينله نفس آخر في الدنيا. So ما, this is ما موصولة followed by صلة الموصول. So this is one big thing, fragment. اسم موصول and صلة الموصول is a big fragment. But what is it doing in this sentence? Okay, now in order to understand what it is doing in the sentence, we have to understand what does أولية mean. أولية means to be brought forward, to be given. I find given the most like appropriate translation in this case. And it has been given, and or it was given min al-nadri, from attention, you can say. It has been given from attention. What has been given to it in terms of attention? ما لم ينله نس آخر. This. It has been given in from attention what no other text has received. What no other text has reached it in the whole dunya. So you can see this ما لم ينله, this fragment, this اسم موصول and صلة الموصول is the مفعول به, the second مفعول به الثاني. We won't call it مفعول به, we will call it مفعول به number 2. Because remember the مفعول به number 1 became the نائب الفاعل, the inside pronoun هو. So now we have أولية من النظر, this is our متعلق بالفعل. Okay, and then this is our مفعول به number 2. So far, are we clear? Did I lose anybody? I hope not. All right. And it was given.
Sister Ilham,
Mhm.
I'm so sorry. Should I continue?
Yes, go on.
It was you said like Aula it will have two maful bihis, right?
Uh-huh.
And in that case, the majhul form one will be the one of the two maful bihis will become, one of them will become fa'il and
Mm-hmm.
naibul fa'il, and another will be remain as maful bihi.
Yes.
So awliya, inside pronoun is huwa, right? Uliya, in
Yes.
uliya,
Ulia. Mm-hmm.
it was not maful bihi, right? This is
If it was active, if it
had
is
it been
awla.
active, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Had it been active, then huwa would be one of the maful bihis attached to it.
Yes. Not attached
Oh,
to it,
okay.
just the inside pronoun.
Yeah, if it is inside pronoun, it would be like a file only, right? Where it is maful bihi. You're getting my point?
Okay.
What am
Yes, yes, I get your point. Yeah, it will be a maf'ul bihi. It will be attached to it. Yes.
okay. Okay. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we take min nadri as the naibul file? And if not, why not?
So again, it goes with the meaning. If min nadri is the naibul fa'il, then attention was given. Attention was given the idea is that it was given attention. Like at-ta'birul Qur'ani, the study of at-ta'birul Qur'ani is what received attention. It's not the attention itself. If you say the attention is the naibul fa'il, you could say that. You could say that it could be the naibul fa'il and this min is za'ida. You could look at it that way. But then the meaning, what would be the meaning? The meaning is that attention is being given something. Attention itself, as an idea, is being given something. Do you understand? So in terms of meaning, it doesn't make sense. So this huwa uliya goes back to التعبير القرآني, the study of التعبير القرآني. It was given. This study of التعبير القرآني was given much attention, was given attention that no other text received. Did you understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sister Ilham, the previous one, please explain it, that inside Hua file and Maful Bihi, I didn't understand.
Could you repeat that? please.
I think she's asking how the inside pronoun became maf'ul bihi in passive. So the way I wrote it is like he gave it, it was given. So in
Yes,
he gave it, it is the maf'ul bihi, and he is the huwa, and it was given. When you make it passive, it that was initially maf'ul bihi became the file, naibul
exactly.
file. Yeah.
Exactly. So let me give we will do one with nouns, and then we'll do one with pronouns, so that it becomes clearer. Because sometimes when you have too many pronouns, it gets confusing, like who is it referring to what? So it becomes confusing. So let's say Quran, no, let's say mm, mm, people give Quran attention. People give Quran attention. Just in English, when you look at this, people is the fa'il, they're the one doing it. They're the one giving, right? And they give what? The first maf'ul bihi is Quran. They give the Quran. They give the Quran what? Attention. So you have maf'ul bihi number one, maf'ul bihi number two, and people is our fa'il. Now we want to make this sentence passive. When we want to make this sentence passive, we don't mention who is doing the thing. And then the first maf'ul bihi becomes the naibul fa'il. So we will say Quran was given attention. See how that works? Now, Quran here was my maf'ul bihi number one. And attention was my maf'ul bihi number two. Now I omitted people and I made this sentence passive. Now Quran became my naibul fa'il. It is substituting the fa'il. You see how Quran substituted people? I started with people, give Quran attention. And now when I made it naibul fa'il, it substituted the fa'il, and now it became Quran was given attention. And attention, of course, remained the same because it's the maf'ul bihi number two. It remained maf'ul bihi number two. All right? So in a similar fashion, if we are to look at pronouns now, they give it attention. They, referring to people, give it, referring to the Quran, attention. Now, I want to make this second sentence mabni lil majhul. Yeah, I want to make it passive. So I will omit they, replace it with it, which is referring to the Quran. So I will say it was given attention. See how that works? So you can see how it transferred down here, became it here. Yeah? So let me maybe highlight it for you so that it can become clearer. And of course, when we make it majhul, we get rid of the fa'il, we remove it completely, and attention remains attention everywhere. And you can see the verb changes from give, which is active, to given, which is passive. Right? So this is how the first maf'ul bihi becomes the naibul fa'il.
And if we have only one maf'ul bihi,
yeah, then you won't need, so it will be a sentence like, for example, he ate an apple was eaten. Right? So he ate an apple. An apple is our maf'ul bihi. So this maf'ul bihi becomes our naibul fa'il, and then becomes an apple was eaten. I omit he, and then we have the apple becoming the
so
naibul fa'il.
actually the case here is like that because we have only one maf'ul bihi, right?
We have two. Exactly this. They give it attention. It was given attention. This is
we
exactly
have
what is
two.
being saying.
Like one is like ma lam yanalhu nasu akhara, and the first one was here.
Okay, so this sentence is passive. Because it is passive, we only have one maf'ul bihi. But if it was active, it will have two maf'ul bihis.
So here
And
we
then,
have only one, right?
Yes. Yeah, مفعول به number 2.
Yeah.
Only attention. مفعول به, like, no, sorry, like this this whole
Because
phrase.
من النصب is متعلق بالفعل. It can be a مفعول به.
Yeah. That's a متعلق.
Yeah, so that's why we have only one مفعول به here in this sentence.
Yes. Yeah. We only have
Which
one مفعول
means
به number 2.
yeah, so the مفعول به ما لم ينله نص آخر is going to be the نائب الفاعل of أولية.
No. No. Look, this sentence is already passive. We cannot make it more passive. It's already passive, which means it has one نائب الفاعل and one مفعول به. You cannot take that مفعول به already that is in a passive sentence and then make it passive again.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I should let me take this example and
Like I
replace
was
it with,
thinking that we're gonna have like two مفعول بهs here, so one we have to change it to a like نائب الفاعل, but you said no because it's already passive, so we have only
yeah,
one, so that's why we can. Okay,
yeah,
sure.
exactly.
Yeah, got it.
And you could have two مفعول بهs in a passive sentence if the فعل takes three مفعول بهs in an active situation. Like if it was not passive, it was just normal. If it takes three مفعول بهs, you make it passive. مفعول به number 1 becomes نائب الفاعل, and then you have مفعول به number 2 and مفعول به number 3. So that's possible. It's a rare occasion. Like there are very few فعلs that take 3 مفاعيل, but it's possible, right?
All right.
Okay. So now what is being said here? They give it from attention. What do they give it? What no other text reached it. So on and so forth. Up to the end. So this is exactly what is being said. If it was active, if it wasn't passive, this would be the sentence. They give it, my first مفعول به, from attention, my متعلق, what no other text, my second مفعول به. So if I make it passive, I eliminate the they, my first مفعول به becomes the نائب الفاعل, so it was given from attention what no other text, so on and so forth. So you can see my مفعول
So
به
Selam,
number
can
2
we translate
remains.
that no other text? Can we say they give it from attention that no other text was given in the world?
That no other text. Yeah, I think you can. You'll be translating more like a sifa. I kind of prefer you use what, because it answers the
Because
question what.
okay, because it's answering it's because it's the maful bihi who or what, that is the reason you're using the word what.
Yes. Yeah. Because it's
But
answering. If I say
I'm
that,
sorry.
I mean, in English, it doesn't really make a big difference, does it? I don't think it
Yeah,
does. Yeah.
it was given from an attention that no other text was given in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, in English, it doesn't really make much difference, but maybe just to be able to see the different parts so that somebody's not confused, be like, are you translating it as a sifa? Because if you use that, but again, it's possible to translate it like that because it doesn't take away anything from the meaning. And sometimes, if it flows better in English that way, then you use that way. As long as at the back of your mind, this is not a mawsuf sifa. This is, it's a mawsul and silatul mawsul. And it is acting, the whole fragment is acting as a maf'ul bihi number 2 in that sentence.
So Selam, that will be used for sifa form.
Most of the time, yeah, we use that as sifa.
Okay.
That she ate. This is the apple that she ate, or which she
Okay.
ate. Yeah. Or who, whom, whose, These are words that we normally use for sifa to describe something. Yeah.
I'm so sorry to ask you again. I must be sounding very silly, but ma is also is a that which alladina ma mant is all a ism sifa, right? Sorry, ism mausul, right?
Ism mawsul, yes. Yeah,
Okay.
ism mawsul.
S-
Yeah.
So that would be not taken as a sifa. That would be taken as sifa and not ma.
Yeah, so the thing is, if you have a sentence after something that is proper, if you have a sentence that something is proper, then normally
It's
we look at it
proper.
as sifa, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So sometimes it can be confusing that way. But of course, here in meaning, it you cannot say that this is the sifa of another because it won't make sense. So that's why
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
can't be able to say that in English because the meaning does not change. But if you have a sentence where you have something proper followed by a sentence and then you translated it with a that, then that's a also sifa situation.
Oh, okay, okay. So it has
You
to make
understand?
sense also when you're translating it,
Yes.
right?
Yes, it
Okay,
has to
okay. So
make sense.
thank you so very much.
No, and by the way, don't say that I'm feeling yani, like you're feeling sorry to answer. Don't feel sorry to ask questions. Ask as many questions as possible, you know. So don't
Okay,
feel
okay.
sorry about that ever until we get this part. Because I know this part. It took me a while also to just figure this thing out, and it's a difficult part, honestly, with this majhul version. But I think once we just break it down and say, okay, now ulia is فعل مبني للمجهول. The نائب الفاعل is the inside pronoun هو. من النظر مفعول به. Sorry, متعلق بالفعل because جار مجرور, easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then this whole fragment here made up of an اسم موصول and a صلة الموصول, that whole thing is going to be مفعول به. Yeah, it's going to be مفعول به. Are we good so far? Any other questions regarding just that basic,
Yeah,
like, yes, go
I
on.
have a question. To confuse further, could we not have taken the ism mausul as the naibul file?
Yes, I thought about that as well. So now again, you have to translate it and see what the meaning would be. What no other text has reached it has been given attention. Does it make sense? We have to understand what is the thing that is being given this attention that no other text has reached it. It is the study of the Ta'bir al-Quran. If we say that this is the Na'ibul Fa'il, which can work, we can say this whole thing is the Na'ibul Fa'il, but then this thing is the thing that has to be given attention. Right? And is it the thing that is being given attention? No. It doesn't make sense. So we cannot say that what no other text has reached it was given attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So here, the biggest trick is actually to look at the meaning. All these parts can work. You can say mean is zaida. You can say this is the naibul fa'il. It can work grammatically. It can work, but does it work for the meaning? No. And that's kind of like where it comes in. And again, I was just asking myself, like, he could just put this muta'alliq at the end, or there are easy ways of saying this sentence. But again, because Dr. Fadil is trying to be elaborate and very fancy and very, I don't know, his language, there's a certain tone with which he speaks. So probably that's why he's using such complex languages. Maybe complex for us, but maybe for somebody who's like a proper, like Arab or like a scholar or something, this could be like so easy. Yeah. So again, perspective. Yeah. So you can see actually he likes to do this. I don't think just him. I think it's the way Arabs speak. They like to bring the muta'alliq forward. They do taqdeem of the muta'alliq a lot. وأولي من النظر وأولي ما لم ينله نسل آخر في الدنيا من النظر. It could be at the end, but then he brought it ahead. Right? Any other questions there? So we enter into this.
Like
Yes, go on.
like we have studied in dream that when we have two maf'ul bihis of that passive fi'al, and if we have, you have to make the first maf'ul bihi as your naibul file. But if you have only one, you can make that one as your naibul file. But here, just because the second maf'ul bihi is not making sense, that's why we have to keep the inside pronoun as our naibul file, right? I mean,
It,
meaning.
yeah, the meaning. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Jazakallah.
Right. All right. Yeah, that's basically how to look at it again. Like grammatically, it could make sense, but does it make sense in meaning? So both of them have to make sense. Both the grammar has to be accurate and the meaning has to also be, accurate. Otherwise, you lose one or the other. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at any sentence, any Arabic sentence. Like both the two have to come together. Both grammar and meaning have to be accurate. All right.
Mr. Ilham, can you please tell me the sarf of yanalhu? It's nala yanalu?
Yes, nala yanal, to obtain, to reach.
And because of sukoon there, the weak letter is dropping off, so that is why it is yanalhu.
Yes, exactly. So whenever you have
Thank you.
ajwaf, weak letter in the middle, and you want to conjugate it, two sukoons don't like each other, so the weak letter disappears. Otherwise, it would have been yanalhu. So you see the two sukoons there? This
Yes,
yanalhu.
yes.
No, they don't like that. So the weak letter, which is alif, goes away.
Okay. Jazakallah khair.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, by the way, it's important to revise some of this irregular sarf because if you don't revise it, it disappears. So that, oops. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. Okay. All right. So let's go into this, inside this silatul mawsul, isim mawsul and silatul mawsul and see what's happening there. So ma, isim mawsul, lam, we know this is a harf of negation and it comes with a mudari' and makes it majzoom. Right? This is what happens there. It made it majzoom. It was yanalu. Nala, yanalu. But because it came with lam, it made it majzoom, so it became yanalhu. And the alif disappeared because like we just talked about. Okay. And then you have who referring back to التعبير القرآني, right? Going back there. So ينله نص. نص is مرفوع because it's the فاعل of ينال. And then آخر. Why did I say آخر? نص آخر. Sorry about that. I just realized that. نص آخر يعني موصوف صفة. And because آخر is one of those words that is ممنوع من الصرف. So it's آخر آخر آخر. So نص آخر. This is موصوف صفة. And then this is our فاعل like we said. في الدنيا متعلق. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Of ينله of course. Because again, remember with jar majroor, it could be متعلق to anything like we talked about previously. So you have to know, is it متعلق to the فعل? Is it متعلق to the فاعل? Is it متعلق to the مفعول به? And of course, in this case, it's simple. It's just في الدنيا, it's متعلق to the فعل. Yeah. Questions there? Okay. Yeah, I think that inside there that was not so difficult. The difficult part was when it came with this verb. First of all, it's a strange usage of the verb, and then they just, I don't know. He just decided to go weird about it. But alhamdulillah, because of him, we are learning so much and we are revising so much. So that's great. Maybe we can take this next line, this one line, and then we can stop there, inshallah. I don't know who read or who would like to read.
It was me who was reading it.
Okay, so Fahima, you can go on.
Okay. فقد درس من حيث tasweer, tasweer. Now I'm taking it uh, as a badal of this one, sister.
حيث?
Tasweerihi.
What kind of a word is حيث?
Hais is zarf. Sorry, zarf.
Uh-huh.
So it should be this one. Majroor.
Yes.
تصويره الفني فكان أجمل التصوير وأبرع لوحة فنية.
فكان أجمل أبرع.
أجمل.
But why though? Why is it أجمل and أبرع?
اسم تفضيل.
It's a
Yes, it is an
تفضيل.
اسم تفضيل, yes. And why is it not أكبر? Why is it not أجمل?
خبر كان. خبر كان.
Yes. خبر كان. Yeah, so that's kind of like what's happening there. Okay. So فقد درس من حيث تسويره الفني, and it was also studied. Again, it was also studied, referring to Quranic expressions above. So درس التعبير القرآني. درس, again going back to this. So فقد درس من حيث تسويره الفني, and it was studied from the angle of its artistic imagery, you could say. Yeah, it has been studied with respect. This min حيث, you can always translate it as with respect to. Okay? With respect to. So it has been studied there with respect to its what is it? Artistic. Yes. Artistic depiction, you can say, تصويره, or how it has been portrayed. Its artistic depiction. Right? فكان أجمل تصوير وأبرع لوحة فنية. And what did they discover when they studied this تعبير القرآني in terms of, or with respect to its artistic depiction, how it is depicted artistically? And they found it to be فكان, and it was, again it, going back to the huwa inside durisa, which goes back to تعبير القرآني. It was, what was it? أجمل تصوير, the most beautiful depiction. وأبرع لوحة. برع يبرع. برع, to actually be, to excel at something, to be a master, to be an expert at something, to be excellent, right? So masterful, you could say. And it was found to be like a most excellent artistic imagery, right? لوحة فنية, artistic imagery or artistic لوحة, painting. You can even say لوحة is a painting. So it was found to be the most excellent painting you could find, right? Artistic painting. Again, he's just speaking very, fancifully and using all these big descriptive words just to get you emotional and understand how amazing the Quran is, right? So that's what he's saying there. Is that clear what the meaning of what he's saying? I think it's not so difficult, because again he's just
Sister Ilham, is
describing.
lawhatin and faniyatin is a sifa of tasweerin.
No. So
Why?
فنية is the صفة لوحة, right? لوحة
Artistic
فنية.
I'm like the most beautiful and excellent artistic colorful picture.
Yeah, you can say that. So now
Why is
okay,
it majhul? I
okay.
thought it because of sifa of tasweer.
What is أبرع? So the فعل is
Oh,
برع.
it's again a misam tabdeel again.
So is it the تفضيل when it comes with as an إضافة, it becomes أفضل التفضيل, which becomes superlative.
Superlative, yeah. Superlative, yes.
Exactly. So here it is superlative, and of course this is now the مضاف, and this is the مضاف إليه. That's why it's مجرور, and this is the صفة to that مضاف.
Okay.
Right? Let's break it down from the beginning and see how it all comes together. So فقد, again, قد, I'm not going to do it. Done it so many times. درس again we've done durisa, so darasa yadrusu, and then the majhul version is durisa yudrasu. So this is the fa'il, and the fa'il is the inside pronoun, the naibul fa'il, sorry, is the inside pronoun huwa. Min haythu, we talked about min haythu. Min is harf jar. Haythu is fi mahalli jar. Yeah, because it's not showing. This is mabni. Haythu is one of those words like min qablu, right? So that's kind of like what's happening. Haythu just doesn't change its form. It's going to be min haythu like that. So this is fi mahalli jar. So this is our jar majroor. Okay, it begins there. And then haythu is also a dharf, a special mudaf. So that means it takes on a mudaf ilay. So min haythu taswirihi. And taswir is a masdar, which is also light, no al, and it takes on a pronoun. So this is also another idafa. And then you have al-fanniyi. Al-fanniyi is describing taswiri. So you have all this is متعلق بالفعل بدرس. That whole thing is a متعلق because the bucket keeps on going. من حيث تصويره الفني. Yeah. From its artistic, you can even if you want to translate it literally, you said from the perspective of its artistic depiction. Like you can add the of there and make it like a proper idafa and whatnot. Yeah, I think that part is already clear, unless there's a question. Then you have fa. You can say this fa is like a fa harf ataf in this case because it's connecting this part to this part. So it's putting those two sentences together. Kana, we know kana is fi'al naqis, and therefore it's treated as a jumla ismiya. And here, the inside pronoun huwa is our isim kana, because when we look ahead, we don't see anything that is rafa. So the isim kana is the inside pronoun huwa, which again goes back to durisa, the inside pronoun inside durisa, which goes back to ta'birul Qur'ani that was mentioned before. Okay, so it was. Yes, fanni is sifatu taswiri. Yes. التصويري الفني. This is موصوف صفة, yes. Okay. So فكان, it was. What was it? أجمل تصوير. The most beautiful depiction. The most beautiful imagery, you can say. The most beautiful picture. Yeah? أجمل تصوير. And we said أجمل is اسم تفضيل, but because it's coming as a mudaf, then it becomes superlative. أفضل التفضيل becomes superlative. And again, of course, it is nasab because it's the khabar of kana. Otherwise, it would just be akbaru. Like we say, Allahu akbaru. Yeah? So it can take on a dhamma. So it's, even though it is partly flexible, it is ajmalu, ajmala, ajmala. In this case, it would take on the fatha because it is the khabar of kana. And again, of course, it's a mudaf. And taswirin is the mudaf ilay. And then you have waw, harf ataf. Waw is the harf ataf. And this waw is connecting this isim tafdil to that isim tafdil. Right? So fakana, what was it? أجمل تصوير. Wa, that's why it is أبرع, because it is copying أجمل. Okay, so it's going to be أبرع لوحة, again مضاف إليه. And فنية is the sifa to لوحة. All right. Questions? Okay. I think we're good, inshallah.
Ma'am, can you translate the last part only? وأبرع لوحة فنية.
Sure. So fakana, we understand that part. Kana, it was. The pronoun inside it is the isim of kana, and together that's our mubtada. And then ajmala taswirin is our khabar. So this part is our khabar, right? Wa is harf ataf, and it's connecting this khabar to this sentence here. Okay, So أجمل is اسم تفضيل. أبرع is also اسم تفضيل. So برع is the فعل. برع, to excel at something, right? Like أيقن also, it has kind of like a similar meaning, right? So وأبرع, it's going to take on, because it's معطوف. Remember when you have حرف عطف, عطف and معطوف, the عطف, whatever you're connecting, this part, it follows whatever came before in terms of its i'rab. So if it was مرفوع, it will be مرفوع. If it was منصوب, it will be منصوب, and so on and so forth. So in this case, أجمل was منصوب, and that's why it's أبرع, because it's following أجمل, right? That's why it's أبرع لوحة. So again, أبرع is a مضاف, because it has no al, it's light, no al. And then لوحة is the مجرور, the مضاف إليه مجرور. فنية is the صفة to لوحة. They match in 4 properties.
Okay. لوحة means
A picture or like an image, or a
okay.
painting even. Painting, I think, is a good translation, yeah. Any other questions? Clarifications? Corrections? All right, alhamdulillah. Looks like we're good. I can take any questions that are not related to the text now. I don't know if whoever was asking about the illa, if that was clear or you need further clarifications on that. I know I rushed because I wanted us to finish this part because I knew it was a bit heavy. But if you need further clarifications, let me know. Maybe we can take 2-3 more minutes and then we can end, inshallah. Or if you have any other questions that are not related to this text, I can try and answer those, then we can end, inshallah, if there is. Alhamdulillah, all clear. Okay, alhamdulillah, fantastic, great. When it's all clear, that's great. But I'm sure Sayyidah Samia is gonna have so many questions, inshallah, for us tomorrow. So I look forward to that, inshallah. And we can stop there. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم. I'll see you guys tomorrow, inshallah.
وعليكم السلام.